Hello Taurus, this is your October forecast. Also applies if you're Taurus rising or Taurus moon. This month the news is that Mercury, planet ruling transportation, ruling technology and communication, goes direct. Yay! So let me break the month down for you. For the first 8 days of the month, we've got Venus here in your 4th house. Venus is your ruler. Venus in your 4th house of home. So this is still a good time this first week of the month to do something nice at home, family, maybe to do something to beautify your environment in some way, maybe just candles, flowers, something pretty to make yourself feel just very comfortable. It's also a nice time for entertaining people or going to a party yourself and being entertained by people that you feel quite close with. It could also be some good news about a loved one. And then on the 9th of the month, we've got Venus changing sign and coming to join Jupiter and Mars in this 5th house. So this is a really powerful 5th house month for you, Taurus. And the 5th house month is about pleasure, is about enjoyment, is about doing things that you love. And this is why it's the house of romance. So if ever there's a time for romance, for those of you that want it, this is a wonderful month, especially from the 9th onwards, especially as Jupiter, Venus and Mars all are very close to one another all month, and on the 28th they come conjunct to one another. So this is a time with Jupiter, Venus together. This is a signal of love. It's a signal of marriage. It's a signal of children. The Mars energy here, many of you may take up a sport or do something, a little daredevil type of activity, but many of you may take up a musical instrument, take up painting, doing something that you enjoy, that you love, that's creative. This is tremendously creative. And also for those of you in business for yourself, this could be a very expansive time. If you're trying to really do a deal or something like that, this could be a great time, especially after the 10th of the month, because on the 10th, this is the date that Mercury goes direct. So you may be planning things for the first 9 or 10 days of the month, reassessing, reevaluating, especially anything connected with work, because many of you will have been maybe reassessing the type of work you want to do, maybe the people that you're working with, maybe you need to just reassess the direction you want to go into with your work. And then after that date, after the 10th, then you can go forward with signing contracts, going for interviews and agreeing the job offers. That's the time when the energy is moving forward more. I do need to say that it's really not the end of the world if you do something during a Mercury retrograde, but it very often is just simply annoying. It means that you have to repeat something, and nobody particularly likes repeating something. So that's why it's better to wait until Mercury goes direct. It's just a whole lot easier usually. Here, as I said, you may decide during the retrograde to go into business for yourself. And with all these guys here energizing a new business, energizing an existing business, this is really your great opportunity for it, Taurus. Now, on the 13th of October, we've got a new moon happening here along with Sun and Mercury in this 6th house. Oopsie daisy. So what does this mean with this new moon in this 6th house? New beginnings for you. For those of you that maybe been struggling with a health issue, you may find a new solution, a new practitioner to help you, a new modality that can help you. This is a great time for starting a new program with respect to diet, exercise, health generally. It's also a great opportunity for something new to happen for you with your work with your career in some way. And also, because there's an influence, quite a lot of influence this month on this 6th house, you may decide that you're going to contribute in some way. Maybe do some volunteering, put your time into helping others in some way. Then on the 24th of October, we've got the Sun coming into this 7th house of relationships. So the 7th house, whenever the Sun comes here, this is a great time to look at your relationships. It's shining a light, so very often this is a good sign. It can bring a good new influence. Maybe a relationship that's gone stale, a bit musty. The Sun shines a light on it, you can start to make some positive changes. And equally, it could bring a new business or romantic relationship into your life as well during this last week of the month. And also on the 27th of the month, we've got a full moon in your sign, Taurus. This full moon happening for you in your 1st house. So here we are, we've got Sun energy going on in this house of relationships, and this full moon, which whenever a full moon falls in your sign, it's shining a light on something. So it could be something that comes to fruition for you. Maybe you've been working on a project for quite some time, and everything, all the bits and pieces start to fall into place for you. It can be a time of harvest. Equally, the full moon can shine a light on maybe something that you want to change, especially about you. The 1st house is about you, how you look. Maybe you want to change how you dress. Maybe you want to change your hair. Maybe you'd just like to do something differently and have people perceive you differently. So that too can happen with this full moon in your sign, Taurus. A full moon in Taurus also actually can be very good financially generally, because Taurus does rule money and finance. So if you've been really working on something for a while, as I said, it could be a culmination of something and some good news happening for you. So all month we've got this very beneficial energy, pretty much of a trine energy between Jupiter, planet of expansion and growth, and Pluto, planet that rules power. So Pluto and Jupiter trining one another. This is a possibility for somebody influential to help you, help move. Maybe if you've got a business or you do something creatively, it could take it to a new level. It's also got a good aspect here for you for anything connected with travel or something from overseas, maybe just a boost or a push that you can do something overseas that could really work for you. And after all, now the internet is growing exponentially with what we're able to do with one another with different countries. So this could be a real opportunity for you, Taurus, to really jump at something new that could push you forwards. I am seeing it connected for those of you in self-employment, doing something creative and doing something you enjoy. We've also got going on a square aspect between Saturn and Neptune. So Neptune here, Saturn here. So a square aspect, I like to put them in red because it does mean a challenge and it means something you've got to pay attention to. When it's a trine aspect, that's more relaxing, it's easier. And we tend to sometimes get into a false sense of security with trines, but with squares we've got to wake up. So for here, this square happening for the last couple of weeks of the month, Saturn is about your integrity, is about honour. So here Saturn in this 8th house, what's happening with joint finances? Maybe somebody's promising you something but not honouring their promises, because Neptune is very much about lies, deception. Of course, on the higher level, it can be very virtuous and the higher octave of love. But on the lower level, and what we see very often, for example, is politicians making promises, all good things, yes, we're going to do this, and then they don't. So if you've got something you're working on financially, just make sure that the people you're working with, you can really trust. This would account for your banking, your insurance, tax, anything in that area. So here as well, certain friends, this is a house of friendship. It may be that there are endings to do with a friendship, maybe a loss to do with a friendship, but equally, as long as you've kept your integrity clear, then that's the most important thing. You can go and sleep soundly in your bed at night. So there you have it, my lovely Taurians. I wish you a great month. Thank you for commenting, sharing, subscribing, and I always love hearing from you for those of you that want me to take a look at your chart in depth. Have a great month. Bye for now.